This is a documentary about the opinions of several students and staff at Westview about the transgender community at Westview. And this is Genderbread, because not every cookie fits the same mold.
The official Beaverton School District Student and Family Handbook Non-Discrimination Statement is as follows. The Beaverton School District recognizes the diversity and worth of all individuals and groups. It is the policy of the Beaverton School District that there will be no discrimination or harassment of individuals or groups based on race, color, religion, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, national origin, marital status, age, veteran status, genetic information, or disability in any educational programs, activities, or employment.
Being transgender means that you are fully embracing who you are.
I think transgender is the idea that you, as an individual, are born with a certain gender, and that's your biological gender, whether you're male or female. But as you develop a personality and as you find your own identity, you make the choice to become something that you weren't born with.
To me, it just means pretty much like what you'd consider like the general definition, like my gender doesn't match my biological sex.
I think it can mean a lot of different things. It can mean anyone who doesn't necessarily identify or feel or sort of prescribe to the gender or to the identity that maybe they were born to or that is what they're expected to be, maybe.
Strength, power, courage, but also anxiety and just discomfort.
I think, I guess, of somebody who doesn't align in the traditional binary, like male or female, but basically anywhere else. So I don't think it has to be like, oh, I was born assigned female at birth and I'm transitioning to male, or I was born assigned male and I'm transitioning to female. I don't think it necessarily has to be one or the other, because I know a lot of students who identify as genderqueer who feel like they're somewhere in between there or outside of there, or just not within that binary.
My school recognizes the transgender community by, there's like posters around that have, we fully accept, and there's like a list of everything on it, and it's like a symbol of being able to, embrace the transgender community.
I think that in general, not just at our school, I think that transgender rights has come up more often, like especially with like bathroom stuff. I still feel a little bit anxious using public restrooms and stuff, but I feel like if I did at this school, that it would be fine.
I think Westview does a pretty good job of trying to recognize. I think the staff is pretty open to new ideas and to trying to make everyone feel like they belong here at Westview. So I know, a lot of our professional development stuff and things like that we do as a staff is really geared towards trying to recognize individuals and trying to make sure everybody feels like they're welcome and supported here. So I think in general we do a pretty good job of that.
A lot of my teachers, like, I think this is the first year where this is the first year where I've seen teachers, like, on the first day of school, like, what pronouns do you use, and blah, 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 do you have a different name, like, tell me, and it's, like, super heartwarming to see that, and it's super, I don't know, it's just really cool to see that. And
I think Westview recognizes the transgender community in a couple of different ways. I think our QSA, our Queer Straight Alliance for students, we also have a staff QSA. The district, Beaverton District, also has a general, staff and people from all over who work in schools of any position in a district office work together too. So I think Beaverton, as a district, and Westview as a high school are moving forward in some ways that are really neat.
I don't feel like we recognize it. I feel like we don't talk about it much. I think a couple of things. So I think first and foremost, I think that, well, they exist, number one, which I think is something that a lot of people have difficulty. They're just like, no, they don't. You're either a boy or a girl. I'm like, whoa. I don't think that's true, and I think there's a lot of harm in kind of denying that existence. I also think, as I just mentioned, that they're not. I don't know if acknowledged is the right word, but there's just not a whole lot. Like, we just don't talk about it. We talk about, we acknowledge, like, for example, there's like the prom queen and the prom king, but there's no like gender neutral form of that.
My views on the transgender community are that I want everyone to feel accepted and welcome wherever they go, and that hopefully everyone who is transgender feels that they are accepted.
At the end of the day, we're all humans. I think the larger picture is, regardless of what you identify with, I think it's important to realize that we're all humans and we all deserve to be loved and we're all equal.
I think they are treated the same, but I think that's problematic because I think that gender needs to be recognized so that they have different needs. Trans students have different needs, just like people of all different populations have different needs. And if we're treating everyone the same, then we're not recognizing that. I think that's like with race. If people say they're colorblind, that's not recognizing that different students have different needs based on what they experience in the world, because that's different. So our trans students, they need things that reflect them, whether it's staff members, whether it's books, they need, things that are less gendered, including bathrooms, including choir classes, including sports. There's a lot of different things, including like dance homecoming committees or whatever. There's a lot of things that are very gendered that create barriers and access for transgender students. So
my answer could be yes, but unfortunately I feel that as soon as someone would say that they're transgender or identify as gay or lesbian, I feel as if the way a person would look at that specific individual would be changed forever, and I feel as if they wouldn't be treated the same, and so, yeah.
I do think so, but I think I also have a certain amount of privilege being a trans man instead of a trans woman, because for some reason in our society it's like seen as more acceptable to have like more masculine like women rather than feminine men. And so like with trans women it's different because like, you've got this woman with like a lower voice and stuff and you're like, whoa. Well, I don't really care, but like some people are like, whoa.
Yes, I think so. From the teacher standpoint, I think so, for sure. I think that the teachers really do work as hard as they can to try to make sure everyone feels equal in a way.
Definitely not. But I think that's kind of it for everyone, because transgender students aren't like every other student. It kind of sucks to say that, and a lot of people want to believe that that's not true, but it kind of is. I don't know, trans people want the same rights as everyone, and they deserve the same rights as everyone, but it's a process to get that, and that's what makes them different.
I think that we kind of need to normalize the fact that we exist, and that people are trans, and we're no different than any other person. We just want to live and go through school and do the things we love, and I don't know. I think we should also normalize the fact that some people use gender-neutral pronouns because it makes them more comfortable.
Be very supportive. Allowing people to feel comfortable in their own skin and their own beliefs is what I think is very important. And I think like I said in my previous answer, they're also people, and people have that natural right of privacy, and ultimately whatever they want, they should be able to pursue it. And so,
well, I think step one is just the recognition piece. I think that it's something people need to be talking about. People need to not avoid it as a hard issue or a non-issue. I think that people also need to listen to the people that are talking about it, and listen for people that are experiencing these things every day, that have their own opinions on what they need and what all of us can do to help that. So I think just keeping an open mind and that sort of thing goes a long way, but there needs to be a willingness to act on those ideas and those.
So I definitely think there should be, I think everybody should ask about pronouns. I think there should just be a general acknowledgement of transgender students' existence. I know posters are super cheesy and cliche, but I think having the little trans symbol.
I think a number of things, and I'm really excited that a lot of that is kind of being worked for right now as well. Representation, like I said, visibility before, so being open about educating folks, being willing to talk about the stuff, having stuff, whether it's on the news about it or when we're talking about dances, having a royalty instead of a king and a queen for our non-binary folks. We have students who don't identify as either gender, students that identify as all genders, but being able to recognize that, being able to have really clearly labeled gender-neutral bathrooms. People need a place to feel safe for their basic human needs. I think that goes with locker rooms too. I think that goes with choir, right? We need choirs and sports and teams that are co-ed and welcome places that are welcome for people of all genders.
Yeah, I think we're trying right now. I've already mentioned a number of things that our school and our school district is doing to raise awareness of it. I think for us, as we become better at communicating to our entire student body our feelings about individual identities, I'm hoping that more transgender students will be able to feel the safety to be able to speak with us as grown-ups about their identities, because you can't tell by looking at a person whether they're transgender or not necessarily. And so, and it's not for us to go up and just ask people. So for us, to answer your question, for us to improve the way that we embrace all communities in our school, I think it's going to be a gradual process that starts with kids feeling more safe to have conversations with us. And as we are able to know kids from different backgrounds and different identities as they talk to us, I think we'll become better. And by building those connections with kids, we'll become better as a school and making it a welcome place. We have a lot of room to improve. I think we're on the right track, and a lot of it will depend on us creating a culture of safety where kids can come feel free to talk to us.
It is stated in the OSAA Athletic Handbook that while they do acknowledge that students have different gender identities, female to male without hormones may participate as either, but a male to female may only participate as male.